Hello and welcome to Raju Notes channel, your pit stop for weekly current affairs updates. The updates tailor-made for students taking all kinds of competitive exams like UPSC, civils, defense and placement interviews. Please subscribe to the channel and stay updated every Sunday.
Africa-India Key Maritime Engagement (ICME), a multilateral exercise concluded in Tanzania this week. The six-day exercise concluded on 18th of April. It aimed to develop collaborative solutions to common regional maritime challenges. The exercise witnessed participation from Comoros, Djibouti, Kenya, Madagascar, Mauritius, Mozambique, Seychelles, and South Africa. The Indian naval ship INS Chennai, INS Kesari, a landing ship tank, and INS Sunaya took part in the exercise. The harbour phase of IKME 25 included an inauguration ceremony and a deck reception, while the sea phase, scheduled from 16th to 18th of April, focused on strengthening maritime security cooperation among the participating nations. Iran and United States will begin crucial talks in Oman to reach a new nuclear deal in an effort to avoid another conflict in the West Asia. The Iranian delegation will be led by country's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, while US envoy Steve Witkoff will represent the American side. Omani Foreign Minister Badr al Basouedi will act as an intermediary. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has given Iran a 2 month deadline to accept the deal that will lead to Iran shrinking its nuclear footprint or eliminating its program altogether. On the other hand, Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghei in a social media post said that Iran is giving diplomacy a genuine chance and that US should value this decision despite the prevailing confrontational hoopla. For the first time, India has showcased its capacity to shoot down fixed wing aircraft, missiles, and swarm drones using the 30 kilowatt laser based weapon system. India has joined the list of selected countries, including the US, China, and Russia, that have shown such a capability. The Center for High Energy System and Sciences, CHESS, Hyderabad, a premier center for defense research and development organization DRDO, conducted a successful field demonstration of the land version of the vehicle mounted laser directed weapon DUE Mark II-A at Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh on this Sunday. DRDO said it defeated the fixed winged unmanned aerial vehicle and swarm of drones successfully, causing structural damage and disabled the surveillance sensors. It said, with this successful trial, India has joined the exclusive club of the global powers who possess the high powered laser DUE system. Secretary, Department of Defense Research and Development Organization and Chairman DRDO Dr. Samir V. Kamath said, this is just the beginning of the journey. He expressed confidence that the synergy that this lab has achieved with other DRDO labs, industry, and academia, it will take the destination soon. Dr. Kamath said DRDO is also working on high energy systems like high energy microwaves, electromagnetic pulse, and on the number of technologies that will give the Star War capability. Minister President of the German state Bavaria, Markus Soder, met External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in New Delhi this Sunday. They discussed the contributions of Bavaria to strengthening India's cooperation with Germany and the European Union. They focused particularly on technology and talent flow. Dr. Jaishankar and Mr. Soder also exchanged perspectives on European developments, transatlantic ties, and Indo Pacific. Mr. Soder also called on Union Minister for Science and Technology Dr. Dichendra Sharma and reiterated strong collaboration between the two nations. One-to-one bilateral meetings between the two leaders was followed by a high-level delegation level meeting. Welcoming the high-level German delegation, Dr. Singh emphasized that long-standing Indo-German cooperation in science, technology, and innovation, underlining the potential for bilateral cooperation in priority areas including artificial intelligence, quantum technologies, biotechnology, clean energy, electric mobility, cyber physical systems, and green hydrogen. Dr. Singh applauded the Indo German 2 plus 2 collaboration model involving joint efforts between the academia and industry from both countries, calling it a landmark step towards creating future ready innovation driven ecosystems. Qnu Labs, one of the startups selected by the Department of Science and Technology under the National Quantum Mission, has launched the world's first and unique platform, Q Shield. It empowers enterprises to protect their critical infrastructure. It also enables seamless cryptography management across any environment, including cloud, on premises, or hybrid on the occasion of World Quantum Day. Minister of Science and Technology said in a statement that the Q Shield enables various services like Cosmos for key generation, Q Connect for secured connectivity, and Q Verse for secured collaboration. The launch of this platform adds one more step to the India's journey towards global leadership in quantum technology. The ministry added that incubated at IIT Madras Research Park in 2016, Qnu Lab is revolutionizing cybersecurity with quantum safe solutions, positioning India as a global leader in quantum cryptography. The Enforcement Directorate has filed charge sheet in Delhi's Rose Avenue court naming Congress leaders Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi in a money laundering case related to the National Herald newspaper. The charge sheet also names Congress Overseas Chief Sam Pitroda, Suman Dubey, and others. Special Judge Vishal Gogne has posted the matter for further proceedings on 25th of this month. A prosecution complaint has been filed under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act for the offense of money laundering. ED began to probe into the National Herald case after Member of Parliament Subramanya Swamy filed a complaint in 2014 accusing Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, and other senior Congress leaders of taking over properties of the Associated Journalists Limited (AJL) for mere sum of 50 lakh rupees. He alleged that AJL property is worth over 2,000 crore rupees. Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi were questioned in 2022 as part of the probe. The National Herald is published by Associated Journal Limited (AJL), which is owned by Young India Private Limited. Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi each hold 38% of stake in Young India, making them majority stakeholders. The Supreme Court this week laid down stringent guidelines for the prevention and expedited trial of child trafficking related offences across the country. The bench of Justice J.B. Pardiwala and R. Mahadevan directed high courts across the country to issue directions to lower courts to complete trials in child trafficking cases in 6 months. The top court also mandated that such cases be heard on a day to day basis to prevent delay in justice. The court issued the directions while hearing anticipatory bail pleas filed by the accused in child trafficking cases from Uttar Pradesh. The court criticized the Uttar Pradesh government's handling of child trafficking cases and Allahabad High Court for issuing bail to child trafficking accused. The apex court said that any laxity shown to implement the directions would be taken seriously and be treated as contempt of court. In a significant direction, the court said that if a newborn is stolen from the hospital, the first step is to be taken is to cancel the license of the concerned hospital. The case involved a stolen baby being delivered to a couple who were desirous of having a son. Prime Minister Narendra Modi this week spoke to his Danish counterpart Mette Frederiksen. During the telephonic conversation, both leaders affirmed their strong support to the India Denmark Green Strategy Partnership and discussed enhancing cooperation across sectors for benefits of people of both countries. Recalling high level exchanges between the two countries ever since the launch of Green Strategic Partnership in 2020, the leaders noted the expansion of the Green Strategic Partnership in various fields, which have created favorable conditions for Danish investments in India to contribute to the green transitions. In a social media post, Mr. Modi said he and Ms. Fredrickson also discussed regional and global development of mutual interest. During the conversation, Mr. Modi said he is looking forward to the third Indo Nordic summit, scheduled to be held later this year in Norway, and his meeting with the Prime Minister Fredriksson at that time. India's Hajj quota has been increased from 1,36,000 in 2014 to 1,75,000 in 2025. In a social media post, the Ministry of Minority Affairs said it is managing the arrangements through the Hajj Committee of India for over 1,22,000 pilgrims this year under the main quota. The ministry said that all necessary preparations, including flight, transport, MENA camps, accommodation, and services, have been completed as per Saudi Arabian guidelines. It said the remaining quota was allotted as customary to private tour operators. The ministry further noted in a line with updated Saudi regulation, it has consolidated more than 800 operators into 26 combined Hajj group operators and have distributed the quota to them as well in advance. In a significant stride towards clean energy, India's rooftop solar power capacity is set to generate substantially, reaching an estimated 20 to 25 gigawatts by end of next financial year. The expansion is driven by India's broader energy transition goals, with solar power emerging as a center pillar in the country's clean energy roadmap. According to a report by Care Edge Rating, rooftop solar is expected to play a pivotal role in growth of the country's commercial and industrial segment in the coming days. Driven by the country's largest energy transition ambitions, rooftop solar is rapidly emerging as a vital component of India's green energy strategy. With the current total renewable energy capacity touching 220 gigawatts as of the financial year 2024-25 and an ambitious national solar capacity target of 300 gigawatts by 2030, rooftop systems, especially in the commercial and industrial sectors, are expected to play a pivotal role. Government led initiatives, policy support such as net metering, the production linked incentive scheme, and falling solar technology costs are also giving rooftop solar adoption a much needed boost. One such push comes from Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, which targets the installation of rooftop solar units in 1 crore households and offers subsidies up to 78,000 rupees. Member states of the World Health Organization this week finalized a historic agreement to prepare the world for future pandemics. Following negotiation that spanned over 3 years, the agreement calls for technology transfer to be incentivized through regulation, license agreements, and favorable financial contributions. Meanwhile, it includes a compromise that any transfer must be mutually agreed upon. The draft also proposes steps such as establishing a pathogen access and benefit sharing system. It includes a One Health approach for pandemic prevention and the setting up of a global supply chain and logistic network. The proposal will now be considered before the World Health Assembly next month. The pandemic agreement maps out measures to thwart pandemics and bolster global collaborations following the chaos seen during COVID-19 outbreak. One contentious point during the negotiation was Article 11, which deals with transfer of medical technologies to developing nations. India and other G4 nations, including Brazil, Germany, and Japan, have opposed proposal to allocate seat based on religion in a reformed UN Security Council. India's permanent representative to United Nations, Parvataneni Harsh, said that proposals to introduce new parameters in reforming the council, such as religious affiliation, run counter to established UN practice. He was speaking at a meeting in intergovernmental negotiations at United Nations headquarters in New York last week on a council reforms on behalf of the G4. India's UN envoy stressed that regional representation, not religion, is the established basis for council membership. Turkey President Recep Tayyip Erdogan recently said that Islamic countries should be a permanent member of the council, while the Organization of Islamic Cooperation had backed representation for the Islamic Ummah. He reiterated G4's position that a decision on a member state that will become a permanent member of a reformed council is a decision to be taken by the General Assembly democratically. Currently, the council's five permanent members, including China, US, UK, France, and Russia. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has expressed concerns over the recent ruling of the Supreme Court prescribing a timeline for the president to decide on bills. He said India has not bargained for democracy while judges will legislate, perform executive functions, and act as what he called the super parliament. Addressing the sixth batch of Rajya Sabha interns at Vice President's enclave in New Delhi last week, Mr. Dhankar underlined that one has to be extremely sensitive while exercising the power. The Vice President remarks came days after Apex Court's verdict in which it set a deadline for the President of India and the governors to give assent to the legislations. Stressing on the principle of separation of power, Mr. Dhankar emphasized when the government is elected by people, it is accountable to Parliament, where one can ask questions. The sixth edition of India Uzbekistan joint military exercise Dustalik 6 commenced at the foreign training node at Aund in Pune, Maharashtra this week. Indian contingent comprising 60 personnel is being represented by a battalion of Jat Regiment and the Indian Air Force. The Uzbekistan contingent is being represented by personnel from the country's army. The Defense Ministry said the joint exercise is an annual training event conducted alternatively in India and Uzbekistan. The exercise will enable both sides to share best practice in tactics, techniques, and procedures for conducting joint sub-conventional operations. It will also enhance defense cooperation, further augmenting bilateral relations between the two friendly nations. The exercise will continue till 28th of this month. In a significant move, Japan is set to send two bullet trains, the E3 and E5 Shinkansen model, to India. These trains will be used for inspection and testing purposes on the under construction Mumbai Ahmedabad High Speed Rail MAHSR corridor. The E5 model, also known as Hayabusa, and the E3 Mini Shinkansen Sen, are expected to arrive in India by early 2026. These trains will serve as a training and familiarization platform for the Indian engineers and the railway staff, helping them to understand and adapt to the Shinkansen technology well before the corridor becomes operational. India is all set to create history once again in its space journey. An Indian astronaut will fly to the International Space Station ISS next month as part of an international space mission. Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla of the Indian Air Force will be part of the upcoming Axiom space mission AX4. Minister of State and Space and Human Energy Dr. Jitendra Singh underscored the significance of this upcoming human space flight and a series of critical ISRO missions. He noted that the collaboration with international partners and the strategic moment of projects like Gaganyaan reflect India's commitment to becoming a global leader in space technology. The minister emphasized that these efforts are not only scientific in nature but will also align with the vision of a developed and a self reliant India.
Well, that's all, friends, for this week's updates. See you soon next Sunday on the same channel. Till then, take care. Bye bye.